this episode of the Plastic Bottle Kayak project. In this episode I plan to make 3 main ribs which run through the middle of the kayak. They should all be about the same size and shape, so I could figure I can make the first one and then copy that 2 more times. Might need a few little tweaks in it to make it fit, and then we'll be good to go. So that is the plan for this episode. So I'm going to get right into it. So I have here a piece of 7mm thick plywood which is left over from another project that I've done. We're going to use this to form the basis of the first rib. Unfortunately I don't have any more plywood at the moment, so I'm going to have to go out later on this week and buy some more. But from the rest of the plywood we should be able to form, I hope, the rest of the ribs required for the kayak. Right, so here we have some plastic bottles from one of the original plastic bottle kayaks which we have recycled. We're going to try and use as many of those bottles as we can so we don't create any extra waste. We've taken those out of the old ones, out of the old kayak, and I've just arranged them in the basic shape that I want the main part, the middle part of the kayak to go in. So these 4 bottles here will form the bottom or the base. These 2 will form part of the sides. These 4 form part of the sides, and these last 2 ones here will form the gunnels with the top of the kayak sort of come up here, something like that. So when I'm sitting in it, my bottom will be sitting here, and I'll be facing either that way or this way, depending which way we have it. So now what I'm going to do is we're just going to draw some pencil lines around the outside of this to give us the basic shape of the kayak, and then do a few measurements and try and make it a bit more geometric. First one. Okay, here we are. I've cut out the 3 ribs that I had planned. So this is the backmost rib, and you might be wondering why I haven't cut the middle piece out like I did off the first one I did. That's because this is going to be part of the watertight bulkhead, so I've left it filled in so that we can glue other parts to it, and then it should keep the water out of the cockpit area. I may decide at a later date to actually cut that centre part out that I've marked, just to help try and keep the weight down, and then glue something else over the top of that might be a bit lighter, but we'll see how we go. So that's the back part, so that's what you'll be sitting against. This is the middle section. It's the first piece I cut out, so when you hop into the kayak then your legs sort of go through here, and this one here is the front section. So when you're sitting in it, so something like that, maybe like that, and your feet will be resting up against that. And again, I've left that solid to make it part of the watertight cockpit area, but also I wasn't quite sure how high I should make the centre point here. So this is the same height as that one there is at this stage, but because we're going to have a piece running down to the front is going to be at a lower height, so this will be at a lower height obviously, but I wasn't quite sure where that should be. So once I've got my stern and bow plate sorted out, then I can run a line from the highest point, which will be this bit here, to the front, and just sort of work out where exactly to cut this to make it line up. But we'll just leave it like this for now. So the next stage now is to cut out a slot in the middle at the bottom, and that slot will have a corresponding slot out on the keel plate here, so that we can slide the 2 together and they'll be glued together. So we're just cutting out the slot at the stage. We're not gluing anything together just yet because we'll need to do a bit more work on it, but that'll just give us an idea of where everything's going to fit. Okay, here we are. We've got the 3 ribs that we made earlier in their final resting place. So we've cut slots into the keel here, here and here, and so the ribs now slot into place. Eventually they'll be glued into place, but for now we're just going to leave them sitting loose so we can work out a few other things. So that's all for this episode. Next episode we'll be looking at making the bow plate and the stern plate, and also the brace that runs from the bow plate, stern plate. One will run up to here, the top brace, and one will run up to here for next episode. So if you've been inspired by what you've seen, please do have a go and make your own. If you like what you've seen, press the like button, if you want to see more, please subscribe, and please do remember to share with your friends. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.